Hello, I am Dr.Surekha Tiwari. I am a practicing homeopath and a psychological counselor. I practice out of Bangalore and I have patients all over the world. It's been a 35-year-old journey and it's a wonderful one. Anger is a negative emotion. Anger is a response to a stimulus, and anger is generally associated with violence. Anger is also something which takes away the ability to think pragmatically. Now, these are all statements we've heard over a period of time, and I'm very sure all of us have also experienced anger. But anger at workplace has a different dimension. When we talk about anger and handling of anger, we generally tell our patrons that you should be able to express what is displeasing you. You should be able to discuss with the other person, and you should be able to understand their point of view. But from where I see it in the last few years of counseling and working with a lot of people who've got anger issues in their workplace, it comes in with a package of anger at the happening, but at the same time an insecurity of the outcome. And that's what complicates the whole scene of anger at workplace. Because you're not free to express, you do not feel the freedom that, or you do not have the security of being heard. That's one part of it. But the bigger part of it is that the anger is there. So you don't want to lose your job because that will be the bigger loss than just being angry. And that insecurity feeds anger. That insecurity gets to you to a place where you are seething inside, you look at the other person, you're not able to do anything. And this results in often how I've seen it is one is cynicism, where you become so cynical that you're not able to look at the other parts. Second, you become very, very inimical. So you do not remain pro your own team or your own boss or on your junior. So there is an inimical status which starts existing in the whole chemistry of these two people or the team or the boss or however it works. And the third thing which I've generally seen is where it starts damaging. So when you're not able to get through things with an expression or discussion, then you start damaging people behind. Then you start creating an atmosphere of being able to damage as and when you can, criticizing as and when you can, which does not help the process, and it's actually completely a negative vicious circle which the whole process goes into. And I'm sure that a lot of you must be nodding your heads with this statement, and there is no easy way out. I can tell you this as a counselor, but there is a way out. There is a way out. And that way out starts generally with the first thing which you must do in your workplace is to have equation with your team, with your boss, with your subordinates, where it's a very good practice these days in corporate, where you have team building picnics, where you have socializings, where you have parties, where you have some of the other celebrations done in a team spirit. I think that's very important for communication. And this is the key word, that in your work environment, if you can generate, if you're a boss and you're listening to me, then please make sure that you give the space to your subordinates to communicate. If you're a junior and you're carrying a grudge with your boss, please know that someday you will have a moment where you can communicate. Seize that moment. Of course, you'll have to choose your words carefully. Of course, you'll have to choose your expression very nicely. And of course, you have to be sure that the dialogue is constructive. You're not complaining. You are saying because you want something better to come out of it. When both the parties walk out of that communication mode, then they both should be better. Because the feedback from the junior to the boss makes him a better boss, and a feedback from the boss to the subordinate actually helps him learn from experience. So the give and take of communication, I think, is a must in workplace, which often goes missing. Second, talk to the person who is the problem, not to everybody else, which is generally what people do. We start complaining about that one thing to everybody else except for that one person who could help it. And that is what it creates. It's like the Chinese whisper that a child goes to the teacher and says, "Ma'am, what is a rumor?" So she says, "Okay, fine. So let's play it in the class. I'm going to say something in the first child's ear, and the last first child will tell us what he heard." In the first child's ear, the teacher said, "Peter has pain in his ears." So the whisper goes through the whole class. The last child gets up and says, "Peter is dead." This is what happens when we talk about the problem, not to the concerned person, but to everybody else. It never helps. So please be direct. Wait for your opportunity, wait for your chance, and do it when you get it. Third, always in a workplace, it is good to examine yourself, to think about what is it that I did, number one. Number two, examine it with your team and have a very clinical look onto what you've done. If you're able to do this for yourself, you can go back to having a dialogue with the concerned person, and this is where I think I am wrong. Please let me know where I am. And fourth, accept criticism not as a personal comment, but as an input into getting your work to become better. The moment you take out anger as a personal insult and turn it into a tool of constructiveness, it actually helps you. People have been known that when they became angry, they won wars. People have known, if you can listen to a lot, think about in mythology, then Draupadi walks up to Krishna and says that I've been insulted in a court full of elders and I don't know what to do. That is the time when Krishna actually advises her, Draupadi, go and get angry. Because your anger will serve to respect the rest of the femalehood which will come after you. Anger has its place provided we are able to use it for a constructive purpose, and especially in the workplace. It's not a bad emotion, it's just a response. We can control the response and make it better.